I'll show a little travel speed this morning. This thing doesn't, it's not super fast. It's not a 2-speed, but it's definitely not as slow as the mini excavators. They barely crawl. And I don't have the throttle way up, but show that little segment, and then I'll hopefully set up and put her to work here in a moment. Let's see what she'll do with this clay pile. This clay's been sitting here a bit, rained on, it's pretty hard. We'll see if she'll dig into it or not. Up a little bit. Idle this down, talk for a moment. Now this definitely, the controls take some getting used to, because your driver this way, and it's hard to do the drive and manipulate the bucket at the same time. It's just not as functional as like a single lever one here that's controlling direction, and this one controlling your bucket. So stop. I do a quick explanation what I'm trying to accomplish here. This clay, one pile was there, one was out by the street, and moved it over here. Basically used the excavator and loaded in a little dump cart that I have and brought it this half over here. But I need it out of the way so I can bring in dirt. And if you look at the blocks on that wall, you can tell it comes downhill, which it needs to come downhill a little bit here, but not as much as it is. And how I have this corner I need to fill up and make it funnel down to this. I put a vertical drain in right here. I need to fill up around that, add more rock to it, bring everything up so that the fall, everything comes across and goes to there, but doesn't come like a rushing river over here. And so I need this clay a little bit more out of the way. Ultimately, this is going in the backyard on the bicycle pump track. So that's another reason I wanted this thing. Between this and the excavator with the tilt bucket, I should be able to make that pump track relatively easy. It's the dirt. I don't know what I'm gonna do exactly. I thought I was gonna use the dirt I have and then put a layer of the clay on top, or I may do a blend. I may have to get another type of dirt also and go from there, but I'll video that when it's time. It's just too hot these days to be doing a whole lot with it. I'm just happy it's running this morning. Seems to be doing okay, and like I said in the other videos, it seems to have been the stock fuel filter. Even though I could blow through it, it seemed to plug up after it ran for a little bit. I'd have it off of it and it's running fine. It is on the electric fuel pump, but I can probably even switch back to the mechanical one and be fine. Continue. Example, like obviously to be more efficient, you want to be running in there, lifting, scooping, kind of in the same motion while you're going forward. I may get the hang of it eventually. Don't have really a whole lot of time on this yet, but it's just not that intuitive as far as, you know, the controls, or as easy basically to make it do those sort of things. But so far running today finally. We'll see what it does the rest of the day here, or the morning. Okay, so just to get an idea of what I'm trying to accomplish here, which isn't a lot, but it should be enough. So I have to be able to, there's a remote dirt pile that I've been given access to, that I'll be able to take this over and park at and load up a polar dump trailer that I have for behind the UTV. And I can load that over there. I can bring it over here, go through the gate, then back up out into this area to dump it. Now it doesn't dump full like a dump truck because where the pivot is and the angle of the back of the tub part of the cart goes down flat, so it doesn't just whoosh everything out, and just you pull a pin and you have to lift. So I think my 24-inch bucket, smooth bucket on the excavator will reach in that and basically pull, you know, scoop out enough that I can lift and dump and then scoop out the rest, and then just keep repeating until I get the dirt in here that I need to level things up. So I wanted this up out of the way more, easier to, I don't know if you can see my hands, it's easier to pull in and then back that cart over there. I can't circle around, so I have to back it in each time. I might be able to drive it in and then back up and dump and unload depending on what area I'm filling, and then maybe jockey my way out of there. Probably take a little more off this other corner back here and call it good. See if I can give myself the best access possible. But so far this morning, the machine's working great. I've got no complaints other than, you know, the controls are a little strange. There's a Digit SCL 850, I believe, that has the joystick and controls you know, your direction. But you can't lock a track and pivot this way. There's a company that has a kit that retrofits and puts 2 levers on that side, so you have to manipulate. You know, you could either drive it like this or drive it with one hand, like when you're going to go into a pile, and then control your bucket and lift on this side and ram those 2 forward and do what you got to do over here to lift and curl. And you know, it might be a good option. It's a pretty big machine, substantial machine, same motor, I believe. That Rado 739, I think it's the same motor, but I've seen videos of it. It looks a little harder to get into and work on than these do. So far, these have been pretty simple. As you've seen, I added my oil drain hose and valve back there. Then I can drop that out the hole into my pan. And I just went to the electric fuel pump. I had it up high, didn't work. Moved it down low. Worked for a little bit, stopped, and then ultimately I had to take out the stock fuel filter up top, because that's what was plugging things up. It's working good this morning. So I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with it so far. I definitely have to learn to operate this a little better, because it's a little awkward, and I may never get the hang of it with these controls. It's really dependent on how your hands are as to, you know, you're moving forward. You know, you kind of control better that way than trying to push, and then you're trying to move these to the side to lift and curl, you know, or dump and drop it down. So it's definitely, because of the way the platform is, doing this is a little awkward. But, you know, it's getting the job done. Thanks for watching.